So, Ray, we're here in Davos. Accenture Development Partnerships and Oxfam work a lot together here. What brings you to Davos this year in particular?
Well, Oxfam is particularly focused right now on the issue of global food security. Mm-hmm. And in 2008, with the global food price crisis, Oxfam became very concerned that the global food system was broken and that we really needed to up our concern for the kind of investments there were in agriculture and the kinds of participation there was both of civil society, governments, and the private sector. And the good news is, I think over the last 3 or 4 years, what we've seen is the international community, the World Bank, the UN system, NGOs, and the private sector really try to tackle this problem. And there's a rich variety of conversations going on here at the World Economic Forum in the form of the new vision for agriculture, Grow Africa, and the new alliance that was launched at the G8 last year. So I'm really following that track.
So there's a few things you mentioned there: new vision for agriculture, Grow Africa. What's the role of, we talk about the convergent role between businesses and governments and how you actually align some of these different stakeholders. What's Oxfam's role in actually bringing the best of these different stakeholders to this challenge of food security?
Well, Oxfam's been working with smallholder farmers for literally decades, and we've been organizing them, we've been introducing technologies, we've been trying to work with them and representing their interests at the national level. And I think what's good about the present moment is I think there's been a collective realization that there's been an underinvestment in agriculture for literally the last 3 or 4 decades. The World Bank portfolio of investment was down to about 4%. USAID's investment portfolio was down to 4% in 2008. And I think everyone realized that with many poor people living in rural areas, vulnerable to food security, we needed to get those investments up. I think the new element in all this is historically that investment all came from governments, bilateral and multilateral donors. Now the private sector is interested in getting involved, becoming an investor, engaging with governments, engaging with not-for-profit organizations and civil society. And everybody is talking about how are we going to reach small farmers and how are we going to come up with an inclusive model that is not just about promoting large-scale agriculture in sort of a traditional sense, but recognizing that in many of these countries where food security is an issue, it's an issue for poor farmers in rural areas that in some cases are living from subsistence agriculture, in other cases farmers who could be part of the market but have not been properly financed or invested in.